Hey guys, Clay Cards here, bringing you a video of a recent TCG Pokemon submission. Most of it's the new 151 stuff, and it didn't grade as well as I had hoped. Still kind of learning some of the 151. A lot of it came out with some, typical whitening on the back. Some of it, I don't feel like the grade is accurate for the condition of the card. Like some of these 8s I feel like could easily be 9s, and some of the 9s I feel like could easily be 10s. Just, I think, a combination of being a little loose with what I sent, and also getting a grader that wasn't lenient. So we'll buzz through some of these. A lot of these are probably going to get resubmitted, but we'll see. Some of it, the value probably doesn't make sense to resubmit, but this is one where it probably would make sense. The Charizard SIR, again, see, like there's a little bit of white up in this left corner up here, but I felt like this was a pretty good 9 candidate. So that's one we'll probably resend. There's a few here we'll resend. I didn't think this one looked terrible myself. Again, I feel like this is more of a 9 candidate than an 8. Maybe a little bit of white on that corner up there. But I actually thought the holo looked pretty good. So again, another one we'll probably retry. Been really into the Topps Chrome recently, so trying to pick up some of these. The Spectra and the Sparkle and the Techno are all really cool. This is just a base, but tried to pick up a couple of these. I think there's a Spectra later on. This is just the base, non-chrome. Mewtwo and Mew. This is one where I'm really not completely sure what they're looking for on these. You can kind of see like it's miscolored or discolored on this where it rounds, but every single one of these cards I've seen out of this set are like that, so I don't think that was the issue. Sometimes you get a centering issue. Maybe that's what the problem was, left to right centering, but it's pretty close. I don't know. Back centering's a touch off. So again, it just kind of depends on who you get as a grader, and it happens. This one, again, I think this one's probably valued high enough in a 10 where it might be worth a retry. Again, we'll have to look it over a little closer. It might be worth a retry just because of the value. Kind of a cool one there. And these two as well. Again, like, the 8 just throws me off on some of these. Maybe that bottom. Yeah, it's that bottom corner. But, that's one where I sent knowing that it's, not perfect, but it just feels like more of a 9 to me than an 8. But again, all subjective, all depends on who you get, all that good stuff. So bit of a bummer of a sub here, but we'll send some of these back, retry them. Some of them we'll just sell as is because it's just not worth retrying, but a lot of these will go out in the shop too. So we'll just go through it and see what might be worth a retry, and what just needs to go out in the shop or go to eBay or whatever. So I actually really like these ultra rare full art cards. These are really cool. Really like these. There's a handful of these in here. Big fan of those. So then we've got a Blastoise 9. This one's pretty cool. Poliwhirl. Illustration rare. Just kind of a cool looking card. I got a 9 on this one, the belly bolt. Mr. Mime got a 9. And a War Turtle 9. This is another one where the value might make sense to retry if we think it's got a shot. I mean, maybe just a touch right there. I think that's just dust. Yeah, that's just dust. Yeah, maybe just a touch on that one corner. Maybe a touch off center on the front. So, Blastoise EX. These EXs didn't grade overly well. There's a handful of Charizards in here as well that we'll get to. They didn't do overly well. That one's a little off center on the back. Ivysaur, illustration rare. Switch, hyper rare. Kind of was just shooting for a 10 on that. In hopes that somebody would be going for a set or something like that. Needing a Switch 10. They're tough grades. They come out of the packs pretty rough. I've had a handful of them, so I thought this one looked pretty good, but not good enough. Golem Ultra Rare. Again, really like these Ultra Rare full arts. Arbok, Golem. There's a Wigglytuff and a Jinx. So again, really like these. These are really cool. So big fan of those. Probably will look to continue buying some of those. They're just really cool cards in general. Pikachu illustration rare, kind of a fun one there. Again, hyper rare, just tough condition. Thought I had a good one here. Thought maybe, hey, we'll give it a shot to 10, and if it 10s, you know, it's probably a decent result. So again, just missed on that one. SIR, again, I mean, I just thought it was worth a shot. Probably one that we were like, well, it's SIR, it's probably worth getting a 9 on it. And unfortunately just didn't get what we were looking for there. Same with the Alakazam would be my guess. Just looking for the 9 and not getting it. So another one of these ultra rares, Charizard. These are cool. I just love these things. Just love those. So Erica's Invitation SIR, probably the same thing here, you know, probably one that we thought, hey, this is probably gonna 9, but it'd be worth it at that point, and got an 8 instead. So again, we'll reevaluate here. Try to get it figured out on some of this Pokemon stuff. I've ripped a lot of the 151 and I really enjoy it. As that's the 151's kind of what I was into as a kid, so kind of able to get back into it that way. But you know, I guess we need to do a little more work on some of these as far as condition goes, figuring out what we're looking for and all that good stuff. So again, I think I mentioned this earlier, we sent these Charizard EXs in, 4 of them, 2 9s, a 10 and an 8. So, and again, just not great. You'd like to see at least 2 or 3 of those 10. I imagine we were looking for 10s on those and just didn't come through on them. Let's see here, that's the 8. And I don't see anything extreme there. Maybe a touch off center on the front, but again, I don't see anything like super extreme. Is this the 10? Yeah, that's the 10. So that one looks pretty good. I just don't see, you know, usually it's pretty easy to spot on the Pokemon, especially, hey, there's a corner here that's got some whitening on it because of all the blue, but just not sure on this one. And you know, we got the grades back on another, I sent a different Pokemon order in, probably 30 cards or so. We got the grades back on another one and it did really well. You know, I'd say probably, you know, if there's 35 cards in that order, maybe 20 to 25 of them 10. So that's, you know, that's not bad on the Pokemon stuff, but this one just did not go well. So, you know, it could just be, you know, this was one of the early ones and wasn't quite acclimated to how this stuff was going to be graded, or, you know, maybe it was just bad luck with a grader or whatever. But we will continue to push on the Pokemon. Again, more of these ultra rares. See, we got back-to-back 10s on the Venusaurs. I sent 3 Venusaurs in and they all 10, so I'm not sure if there's something with the Venusaurs that are way better than the rest of the ultra rares. But again, something I'll have to look at for future reference. But 2 10s on the Venusaurs. They're both sharp. We'll have to compare. Last few here, Giovanni's Charisma, got a 9 there. These UPC Ultimate or Premium collections, pretty easy grades. I've been surprised with how easy these graded. Seen a lot of 10s. So if you have some of these, my initial concern was this like edge, which you can see it down here. So like this edge, it shows the gold from the front, but they haven't really dinged anyone for that. I wasn't quite sure what to expect on that, but again, it's a metal card, so, but you can see the gold at the bottom here, so I wasn't quite sure how they were going to handle that, but they've pretty much ignored it. I've seen a lot of these 10, probably 75% at least. Of these have 10'd. So fun ones there. I mean, the Charizard has a ton of value too. So right, I think the Mews are like 60-ish bucks right now. I haven't looked in probably a week or so, but probably right around 60. Another Pikachu illustration rare, and this is the last one. I actually thought this would grade okay. One I picked up off eBay. This is the Spectra out of Topps Chrome. Probably one I'll look to resend. I thought this one would grade okay. It was pretty, it had like some film on it that I was able to kind of wipe off and shine it up a little, but we'll kind of, you know, take a closer look at it and see what the issue might have been. I thought it had a decent chance at a 9. So another one we'll kind of have to take another look at, but hopefully in the next week or two, we'll bring another Pokemon video of Majority 151, and we can kind of show you how different the grades were, because I've already received the grades on them, and we can kind of go over how different that group graded as opposed to this one. But we'll see. We'll have to compare and see what the differences were, especially between this sub and the new one. So we'll kind of compare some 9s to other 9s and see how they go. But definitely going to keep improving on the Pokemon, and there's definitely some room for improvement with this sub. But just wanted to kind of share that they aren't all great. Sometimes you get a dud, and even though sometimes you get a dud, sometimes you're still not sure quite why. So we'll get her figured out and come back again soon with another video. Thanks, guys.